Are we ready?
Yep.
Okay, good. Hi, I'm Mike Allin, and this is my record collection. So, how did I get from this to this? First record I ever bought, 1968, Hey Jude, the Beatles. A child of the 50s and the 60s. My first introduction to music was when I was a young kid. My mum and dad had a fantastic collection of 78 records. And they tell me from a very early age I was destined to be a DJ because I was always playing the records and wanted to put the records on for them when they had parties. The first music I actually ever got was the Hard Day's Night LP, but on a tape recorder. My mum and dad couldn't afford a record player at the time, so they bought me a reel-to-reel record player in 1960, a reel-to-reel record player, a reel-to-reel tape recorder in 1964. And the Hard Day's Night album came out on a reel-to-reel tape. And I used to diligently tape every Sunday Top of the Pops off of the radio. So by 1968 I had some money from my paper round, and that was the first record I bought. And then it became an addiction. I just have been passionate about music ever since, and that led me to this collection and also to becoming a DJ. I started DJing in 1972 when I was 18 in London, and I had a love of all things soul and funk, as I would at that age. Also pop music, but predominantly driven by the sound of Motown. And so that started me off on the journey. And now today, I've ended up with this collection which covers soul, jazz, of all sorts of genres and varieties, new jazz. I haven't stopped buying records to this day. So nearly 60 years on, I'm still buying. So, Diplomats of Soul. 20 years today, we're celebrating the release of this record. It's a project that came together with my great friend of 45 plus years, Mr. Ralph T, who's the owner of Expansion Records, and Jean-Paul Bluey Monique of Incognito. We did this cover version of Donny Hathaway's Someday. And here we are still 20 years later, releasing records. Last year we did this album, our first album for Record Store Day. And I'm so proud that we've been able to make our own music and release this music. It truly is a blessing. Okay, so now let's take a look at the records that are special to me. So this is probably one of the most important records to me personally in my collection. Marvin Gaye, What's Going On. I mentioned about Motown being one of the first labels I fell in love with from a sound. This album changed that sound. Marvin Gaye fought very hard to release this album on Motown. Berry Gordy didn't want to release it, but it's gone on to be one of the greatest albums ever. And that should be in everybody's record collection.
Money, we make it. Before we see it, you take it. Oh, make me wanna holler.
One of the other artists that I have adored on Motown is Stevie Wonder. He's probably, along with Roy Ayers, my favourite artists of all time. And I don't know which album to pick of Stevie's. I've gone with this, Stevie Wonder, Inner Visions. Now this album, every track, Too High, Living for the City, Golden Lady, Higher Ground, Jesus Children of America. It's just an absolute classic and brings back so many memories when I play that.
Cause my last time on earth
What else? Along with Stevie Wonder, one of the other artists that I absolutely idolise is Mr. Roy Ayers. This is the first album I ever bought of Roy Ayers. Roy Ayers' Ubiquity, Mystic Voyage album. I was late in discovering Roy in his career. He was probably at his highlight then, about 1979, and I started to dig through record stores, and that was a chain reaction. That led me on to wanting to buy anything and everything that Roy made, and then I discovered this album that he recorded with Fela Kuti in Nigeria. This is an original version from Nigeria. One track on either side. That then started to lead me into getting introduced and getting interested into African music, and Fela Kuti especially. For me, record collecting is like a chain reaction. Yeah, one record can lead you to the next, to the next, to the next, and so on. It just spreads out. What does collecting mean to me? Well, I'm not really a collector. I'm a lover of music. The reason I've amassed so many records is my passion for music. And I don't like to look at this as, oh, I'm a completist or I'm like a stamp collector. No, I mean, I want these records to listen to again and again. It's just a passion, and it's grown. I've been very fortunate that I've been able to turn my passion into something so that I can make music, I can DJ, and expand more records. What else? Yes. Let's see if where is it? Now, this album is very, very special. I bought this when it came out in the 80s. I think, if I remember rightly, I bought this from Mr. Paul Murphy in his record store in London. James Mason. Rhythm of Life, incredible album. And one of my all-time favourite tracks on here is Sweet Power Your Embrace, and that was one of the first cover versions that we decided to do with Diplomats of Soul, along with Bluey and the Incognito team. So very, very dear to my heart, that record.
Sweet power, your embrace, all around me, I am safe. Sweet power, your embrace.
Another one in the M section as well, actually, is, where is it? Yes, is it? Yes, it's this one, isn't it? Yeah. Idris Muhammad. Jazz funk at its best. Could heaven ever be like this? It's just, yeah, one of the tracks of all time for jazz dance. What else have we got? Oh, Sonny Stitt, an amazing album. Yeah, picked that up in New York in 1984 on a trip there. I'd heard of Sonny Stitt and a couple of things, but I found that album and I was so pleased that I bought it. What's the track on that? I'm trying to remember now. It's got Eddie Russ on it, that's right. That was one of the other reasons I bought it, Eddie Russ. Yeah, Spinning Wheel and also Tornado are the tracks to check out on that album. What else are we looking at here? Stanley Cow. This is an album that's quite sought after now, I believe, and this has got a great version. Oh no, wrong one. What? No, that is the Stanley Cow album that I like. That's the one I was looking for. My apologies. This is the album I love of his New World. It's got a great version of Come Sunday, Duke Ellington on there. Oh yes, this is especially for my good friend Rui. He recently found out about this track. He was watching, I think it was Charlie Dark giving a talk at the 180 studios in London related to Theo Parrish, and I believe he played this. Charles Allin from 1980, 1981 on the Muse label. Mirrorly is the track. Absolutely incredible jazz dance record. Rufus and Chaka Khan. What can you say? Chaka Khan, what an amazing voice, an amazing career. I've got so many albums by them, but this is one of my favourites by them. Yeah. Do You Love What You Feel is a track on that album. What else have we got? Oh, yes. Now this album, very, very special. Big record at the Loft, David Mancuso's Loft in New York. The Rhythm Makers, the track was Zone, but I remember I had this album and then I heard a mix by Kenny Dope Gonzalez and he played a track in that mix and I thought, I know that. Found it, it's on this album, a track called A Soul on Your Side. Rhythm Makers, they went on to become GQ and make one of the greatest disco records of all time, Disco Nights.
Papa works the nights, doesn't make it easy to bring the kids up right.
This one's especially for the man behind the camera, Mr. Rui. He was talking to me the other day about Ashford and Simpson. Ashford and Simpson, where do you start? Over 2,000 writing and production and arrangement credits, lead writers for the Motown label. Again, produced so many records, but this has to be the one that sticks in my mind. Stay Free, got all the classics on here. Found a Cure, Stay Free. Oh yeah, wonderful album. Another must-have if you're into soul. Right, let's get a little bit eclectic. Let's get a little bit different. I know Mr. Dave Lee, and he released an album, a compilation album called From the Cellar. And on that album was a track that I just fell in love with. I thought, what is this? And it turned out it was from this band, Galapagos Duck. And I was Galapagos Duck. From the soundtrack of a movie called The Removalist. And it turns out Galapagos Duck are an Australian jazz funk band. And that led me down a massive rabbit hole. And I started to dig into the whole world of Australian jazz, funk and soul. So what have we got in that respect? Oh, okay, Steve, these, oh, yes. So, how about this one? Sister Janet Mead, a nun, yeah? But there's an amazing track on here called Father, I Put My Life in Your Hands. This goes out to Mr. Neil Hazel in the UK. I know he's desperately wanting to get a copy of this album, Pyramid. The song on here is A Song for Bobby. Just incredible. Very, very fortunate that I got a pristine copy of this album at a very reasonable price. Not only Australia but New Zealand. This is from the mid-70s. Golden Horn Band, a big band. I love big band jazz, and this is just incredible stuff as well. Got some great cover versions on here. I'm trying to remember. Oh, Latin Boogaloo's. Yeah, that's one of the big tracks on here. And if you're collecting Aussie jazz, funk and soul, these two albums are must-haves. Sky High Skylight and Styluses for the Love of Music. These are just absolutely amazing. What else? Let's look at some of the newer stuff. This is what I call new jazz. So this is the newer music. Great band. I was put onto this band by my good friend Mr. Mark G.B. Taylor, Reference Point fame. Dina Ogon. I think they're from Sweden, I think. I do apologise if I've got that wrong. They are from Scandinavia, but I think it's Sweden. Yeah. This gentleman. What can you say? Yusuf Days. Incredible. Now this I quite treasure. This is, I think it's the first release by Joe Amon Jones, alongside Maxwell Owen. Idiom is the name of this album. I believe this goes for quite some money now. And of course, Joe Amon Jones is part of Ezra Collective. Now the UK. I've got to give a shout out to my man Mr. Colin Curtis. He put together these incredible compilations on Dave Lee's ZR Records, Jazz Dance Fusion. I think he's up to, is it number 4, number 5? 4, yeah, volume 4 I think is as far as we've got. When's the next one, Colin? More Australian jazz. Oh, it's just never ends. It never ends. Another one of the favourite new artists around, Thundercat. This is an album he released back in. When was this released? I can't find the release date on this, but this is like a series of 10-inch singles to produce the album Drunk. It's got a new album out at the moment, by the way. Check it out, very, very good. The 10 albums I could live with forever. In no particular order. The Beatles, Revolver. The Moody Blues, In Search of the Lost Chord. Marvin Gaye, What's Going On? Bill Withers, Still Bill. Stevie Wonder, Inner Visions. Another Stevie Wonder, Songs in the Key of Life. Had to be. Roy Ayers, Ubiquity, Mystic Voyage. John Coltrane, I Love Supreme. Miles Davis, Milestones. And number 10, Eddie Jefferson, Body and Soul. Welcome to Toby White Radio with me, Mike Allin. Connections is the name of the game. For me, radio's always been a part of my life. Growing up as a kid, that was the only way I could listen to music in the beginning, was through the BBC. And then when I was in my early 20s, I wanted to try and get onto the radio, and the best way to do that was to start off doing voluntary work in hospital radio. I did that for a few years. And here I am today. I've got a show now on Totally Wired Radio in London. Goes out every Thursday morning in the UK. And for me, radio is the connection. It spreads the word. It spread the word of music to me, and I learnt so much through listening to radio. Such great DJs as John Peel and Greg Edwards and Robbie Vincent. And nowadays I feel that passion, and I just want to share music to as many people as I can. So my digging process, digging for vinyl, well, I've been doing it for 50 odd years, so it's changed a lot. I mean, obviously it used to be just physical digging. You went to a record shop, you looked through the racks and you tried to find things that interest you. You amass knowledge about artists, producers, labels. That starts to guide you. You look at the reference on the back of records to see whether the same drummer is playing on this record as any other previous records, or has it been produced by the same producer of a favourite record of yours. That's how it used to be, and it still is to a certain extent. That's how you find different avenues of music and discover new music. But the digging process now has changed because of the online world. Living here in Thailand, I still like to go physical digging when I can, but I must admit I also like digital digging, so digging via the internet and discovering new music and then purchasing through sites like Discogs, or going to the new record stores like Juno, who are my two go-to places if you like to buy music. Another way I like to dig is to use Spotify. I don't like streaming services, but Spotify is actually a very good tool to guide you around music and what new music is coming out. And then I like to go and physically purchase that music, and for me the absolute go-to is Bandcamp, the best place to buy new independently released music.